Hey everybody, this is herculespetix, founder, curator, docent, and gift shop employee of the herculespetix Academy of Comic Book Studies. Today we're going to be looking at Monster Fan Club number 1 through 3. This is a really interesting anthology comic edited by Jason T. Miles. And there's a lot of great stuff in here, a lot of very weird stuff in here. And as you can see, it's an oversized comic. I'll give you a little idea of how big it is by my big fat hands. It looks like 1 2/3 fat hands. That's the measurement. These came out in 2023, 2024, and 2025. So I guess it's an annual. And just crazy stuff in here. Really beautiful stuff. The bulk of these consist of a continuing story. The majority of each issue is this continuing story, and we'll take a look very soon. And the exciting thing is that Jason got Shaky Kane to draw it, the great English artist. So right off the bat, you got to buy this shit. Of course, first issue cover by Shaky Kane. It's really great. I love Shaky Kane stuff. He's so good. So the covers are like cardstock. It's just a really nice production all around. Inside front cover here by Ken Landgraf. This guy's been drawn since the 70s. I remember seeing his ads for his like kind of fanzine type prozine magazines in the late 70s. And he's still drawing crazy shit. And just very kind of classic comic book style. We have the contents page here. I think these illustrations are by Joshua Rival, because it says illustrator, and everything else is credited, so I assume these illustrations are by him. We have the contents here, and let's get started. So this first story, I don't know if it's a pseudonym. I mean, it obviously is a pseudonym. It's credited to someone, to the diabetic Dracula. And I'm pretty sure that's a cartoonist that I just don't know their name. I guess I could have called and asked Jason, but I'm lazy. And this story is called Monster Fan Blub. I always see these two, punky monster types. And they all talk in this weird, as if they're drunk. It's like, Monster Fan Club, that looks fun. And this old, weird, decrepit guy is basically saying, don't go in there. I've seen people go in and they never come out. Sometimes they do come out, though, and they just die. They fall over dead. Sometimes they lose their mind. Whatever's going on in there, no good can come from it. I didn't mention that the female character is named the Boiled Owl. And this guy is just called the Old Man. And the Boiled Owl's pal is the Bad Brain. So they don't listen to this old guy. And they decide to go inside the Monster Fan Club. This art is really interesting. It kind of reminds me of like a Savage Pencil, or I don't know, just those punky artists of the 80s. Very kind of interesting. And when they go inside, we meet the orphan. I love this character design, this weird looking creature. And he basically says, this is your life death. You are but ink on paper, trapped forever, destined to turn brittle and fall apart. Basically, the orphan informs them that they're just comic book characters. And that is why many of the people have gone insane or just died. The knowledge is too much for them. Destined to be recycled over and over again. Destined to mildew into an indescribable lumpy mush of pulp. And that's it. Very strange comic. So now we have the first chapter in Blood on Blood. Now, I'm not sure if the whole like graphic novel, if you will, is called Blood on Blood or just the first chapter. But this is written by Jason T. Miles and drawn by Shaky Kane. I'm assuming. I don't know if Shaky Kane helped with the plotting or anything because it doesn't say who wrote and who drew. So chapter 1, you are now in Edge City for a day or a lifetime. And we see this city is just populated by just all these monstrous characters. I like the gang is called the Jersey Devils, and Little Hot Stuff, or Hot Stuff is their mascot. There's so many great, like, fun, interesting references in here. Almost like Jason Miles just regurgitated every fun memory of every monster magazine, every comic book, every movie about monsters he ever read or consumed. Now, the narrative in this comic is very, it's just, it's not a normal narrative. It's almost like this fun, crazy exploitation movie, monster movie, but then with some weird, artsy director. Like, you know, it's a combination of the two. So we see this casino, Uncle Foul's money bin. There's this, the brain that wouldn't die is the camera surveillance system. And I want to give you a flavor of the writing, because it's very, some of it's almost just like weird beatnik poetry. Your stupid eyes hyperventilate as they try to adjust to the multicolored light show, dying and staining your dumb retinas as you struggle to read this. That smell? It's ozone burning your shiny nostril hairs. What's that gritty ash-like film coating the inside of your smelly mouth? You inhaled our bargain bin fluorescence with your first step. And so we see this crazy casino, all these weird characters. There's Tort Johnson smoking some crack. The creature from the Black Lagoon, can you spare some water? So this is almost like this hellish casino. Smoke from cigarettes, cigars, and glass pipes spiderweb the layers of gas common people commonly refer to as air. There's even Rondo Hatton. And just random things seems to happen. Like this Morticia-looking woman fires at the brain that wouldn't die, missing it. We don't know why. We don't know why she couldn't hit such a big target. And now we see the guys behind the brain that wouldn't die. These are the guys who work for the casino, who are basically observing, surveilling the customers to make sure there's no card counters or, you know, shenanigans. These guys are kind of goof-offs, though. They're just dicking around. They're kind of making fun of the customers. We see a kind of chubby Bride of Frankenstein. They're like, I guess they can, like, I don't know if this is like, I guess they can appear as like almost ghosts and like float around the place. So they're just making fun of the bride here. And they're just like total teenage boys. They're like, I'll titty fuck your Frankenstein for a fat sack of Dracula butt cracks. But then the boss comes in. This is Gary Goulash. He's the pit boss, and he is a tough cookie. Also, very strange, his dialogue. It does say it's auto-corrected, so all the words are misspelled. At first, I just thought it was censoring it. Jason was censoring himself, because it's like, shut the duck up. It constantly says that. He has a little asterisk saying that was autocorrect. But then he continues to do it. Every curse word, even like shit, is misspelled. I'll try to read some of it. I'm trying to find a good example. God damn it, tell me which of my flock is on the take, or if a crap shooting shark is a rat duck piece of ship. So ship instead of shit. And so he dresses down these guys. He's like, what the fuck are you doing dicking around, harassing my customers? You're supposed to be looking out for, you know, shysters and cheaters. Very strange, this whole shut the duck up business and piece of shit. Because this is definitely not for kids, this comic. It's incredibly gory, and so it's just a weird artistic choice. So now, all of a sudden, entering the casino is Lady Di. She's an entrepreneur with her beloved Siberian tiger, Mrs. Puddington. I don't know why this character I find so appealing. It's just a Siberian tiger with a bonnet. And I feel like I've seen this image before. A tiger with a bonnet? I can't remember where, but it just rang a note within me. I was like, I've seen that. She's also there with her middlemen, these basically her flunkies. These guys are basically like kind of pale skin zombie types, but then they have faces, like human faces stitched on their puss, I guess to make them more appealing to Lady Di. She was tired of looking at their goony faces. So they basically break in, and it's kind of a power play. And now, all of a sudden, Gary Goulash's dialogue gets even weirder, almost like James Joyce, where everything is misspelled, finding another word that sounds like it. Hey, bait a minuet. So instead of saying, hey, wait a minute, hey, bait a minuet. And so it's not just like censoring curse words anymore. It's not ducking and chip. She brings donuts from Hoodoo Doo Donuts. It's such a dumb joke pun, but I fucking laugh every time I read it. In Portland, there's a very popular donut place called Voodoo Donuts, and they're actually crap. So it makes it doubly funny to me. Hoodoo Doo Donuts. She basically shoves them in these three guys' mouths, the guys who are supposed to be watching, the surveillors. And she basically is like just saying, I'm taking over this place. We can do it the hard way, the easy way, or the hard way. Make the right decision. I'll be in tomorrow. And of course, Gary Goulash is like, fuck no. Meanwhile, these donuts seem to be having a very bad effect on these guys. They're puking up. So she basically is claiming that she'll take over security, but it's kind of like the mafia. She's just gonna move in and take over the place. He knows this. Meanwhile, her middlemen, that's what her flunkies are called. They just start rampaging through the casino and fucking with everyone. Meanwhile, there's so many things in this comic where it's just like, why is this happening? Miss Puddington is just chewing on one of these guys' legs. And he's actually ripped his foot off already. And he just seems to just be sitting there. He's not screaming. Yeah, he doesn't look happy. He's almost in a catatonic state. I haven't even mentioned just the art. It's just Shaky Kane, firing on all cylinders here. This is every panel is full of just amazing imaginative shit. So now this is a nice feature he has in every issue. Pull-out poster by Daria Tesler. Well, they're not always by Daria Tesler, and it's Godzilla. And I guess I have to, I'll do this so you can see the top half. Very idiosyncratic take on Godzilla. I really like this style. Very just like light and cartoony. Really, why does Godzilla have these animals and creatures and boxes in his chest? I don't know. These cute little kittens are making up his arm. Very strange. But the kind of strange I like. I'm not going to pull out that poster though. because then it won't be in mint condition. So, I guess the story continues. All the dialogue's pretty weird. It just reads like a really... the whole time I felt like I was watching some crazy movie. The most insane movie I've ever seen. It just felt like that. I don't know why I love this Miss Puddington so much. So now this is, I believe this is, oh, it just says Taco Tuesday, so it's not the second chapter yet. This is the end of the first chapter. Basically, Lady Di leaves, takes all of her associates with her, and Gary calls up, he calls for help, and we'll find out what happens later. Next we have That Hat, and this is by Noel Freebert. Not familiar with this guy's work. This is another just very odd comic where we're in Paris. This little cutesy character sees an American woman, says, "Where'd you get that cool hat? I really want one." And then when the woman takes off her hat, she's this horrible monster. Really interesting panel there. I have no idea what this comic's about. It's crazy, but it's really very interesting. I love this panel too. Now we have a one-pager by Chris Cajero Cilla. This is called Gorfyuk's Flight of Fear and Fancy. This little character here is Gorfyuk. He looks like some cutesy Kirby creation that would be in like the Sandman comic he did in the 70s, that weird comic. This is, God, the colors in this are so downright lethargic. This is just really weird coloring. This comic, I can't make heads or tails of it. It's just this weird, like, non sequitur. These two angels, these with big boobs. But I really like it. It's like those weird underground comics that are just like, I don't really get it, but it's funny. Next we have Chapter 2, Creature. And so now we see this guy here, Stoker. He kind of looks like a man-sized Godzilla. He rides around in a convertible. The wheels are giant bloodshot eyeballs. We see more of these goony citizens of Edge City. Look at these crazy... It kind of reminds me of Jeff Darrow, how he populates his backgrounds with just all these interesting looking characters. Like, I want to know this guy's story. I want to know this guy's story. This weird Ratfink looking dude. He's like Speed Racer, drawn by Ratfink. Some more interesting writing. So, I mean, there's kind of a plot here, but it's also more about just, I don't know what the word, setting a mood, or, I don't know, but it says, standing in the doorway, another doorway, this time mine. That's me in the doorway, my doorway. There's always another doorway. They're not what you think. They're never just a doorway, more like portals, more like rifts and rents, dimensional tears, boom tubes, telepods, cocoons. Very weird. And now we see him in the hospital. Love this crazy character here. And I think this is a flashback to when he was hanging out at the casino. I'm not sure. I don't know if it matters. More great characters in the background. I love this panel of all these heads. Once again, all these characters look interesting. I think this is a flashback where him and his little Frankenstein buddy are attacking these ghouls. Now this is, I don't know if Ken Landgraf drew that drawing in the inside front cover and they put it in the comic, or Ken Landgraf read the comic that was created and then said, oh, I'm going to illustrate this scene. Who knows? We see him as a little kid. And so now Gary calls up Stoker and he basically says, I need your help. And Stoker totally insults this guy. He knows that Gary's a big douchebag. And so Gary tells him his problems, tells him about Lady Di. And even though he's been insulting him the whole time, he says, yeah, I'll be right over. And he says, I'd do anything for him. I love him. It's just a weird ending there because he doesn't seem like he loves him at all. This is nice. We get a page of 2 of Tim Goodyear's Video Tonfa entries, Godzilla versus the Smog Monster and the Brainiac. Now, Tim's been doing these for years. He likes to see a movie. Rumor has it that he's usually stoned. I think that's a prerequisite. And then he recreates the cover art and writes his little review as if it was the back cover writing. Instead of, normally it would be like, oh, this exciting movie directed by blah, blah, blah. But he just gives his own review. And then we have the Brainiac here. He usually picks movies that just sound interesting, I've never heard of or never seen. And he makes them sound very crazy and interesting. That almost looks like Gon, the Japanese manga dinosaur right there. I love this cartoon. This is Jesse McManus. And very odd strip. Let me get the title. I should have written this down, sorry. This is called Snail Brain. And we see this horrific character picking up a snail, putting it in its gaping maw. The snail is basically traveling through the interior of this creature. It looks like he's crawled up to the head, and this is the brain plugged into this outlet. Meanwhile, the creature is hunting this cute little weird character, like a rat-human hybrid, and he's chasing him. This cartoon is just so fun for me. It's just like, it's so lively. It's like an animated cartoon, like you're looking at. It's just really energetic and just fun. Yeah, these colors are exquisite. So, in pursuing this weird rat hybrid, he trips. Now we see back inside. It looks like the snail is kind of fucking with the brain. Knocks it off its chair. Or maybe it fell off its chair. I'm not sure. And it seems like this is affecting the creature because his brain's all discombobulated. It just starts crawling on the ground, like doing the worm. Climbs up the tree. Look at this great panel here. And is still, I guess, chasing after this little rat creature. And right when he's about to attack him, the little creature's foot elongitates and kicks him off the tree. The creature falls in this little pond. He sneezes, and the snail comes out of his nostril. And the snail floats away on a log. It's crazy. Really beautiful stuff, though. That's some great cartooning there. Next, we have number 2, another Shaky Kane cover. And let's crack this shit open. So this inside front cover is by Matthew Fox. In this issue, he reprints other classic fantasy artists. He does in the 3rd issue as well. So I think Matthew Fox, that name sounds familiar. I think he's a weird Golden Age guy. I could be totally wrong. I should have looked it up. But I figured there's so many Matthew Foxes, I'll probably never find him on the internet. But it's an amazing piece of art, whenever it was made. Doesn't really matter. Just really great stuff. So now we have chapter 3 of whatever the hell this hero's called. Maybe it's just, this is Monster Fan Club. We see Gary, he's cooking steaks, singing Sid Vicious's version of My Way, but he's changing the words. And then we see this adorable kitten. And now we see Stoker, and he says, I hate everything about Frank Sinatra. And so basically we've had a jump in time here. Stoker has already helped Gary out. And so now we see a flashback. Gary driving his crazy car, attacking those middlemen, Lady Di's flunkies. Just some really just great, energetic art. And Gary's dialogue is just completely unhinged now. Almost every word is spelled differently or using another word that sounds like it. He claims the autocorrect is still on here. Want to pee my new mitten instead of want to see my new kitten? Really don't understand that choice. So Stoker sees the little kitten. God, I love the way he draws this kitten. This is the cutest fucking kitten ever. And get ready, guys. So when I turn the page, you're gonna be. I was very sad, and you probably will be too. So Gary just loves this little cat. He's just doting on him. And then all of a sudden, the cat explodes. I think it's hit by these. We see lines. I don't know if that's machine gun fire or like some laser rays or something. And now Stoker says, Gary, get your ass down. And for some reason, Lady Di is attacking them with office supplies. Staplers, pens, projectiles. It's such a crazy idea. So we see this amazingly designed. It's almost like the helicarrier, the Shield helicarrier meets an RV. This is Lady Di's, I guess, flying headquarters. And she's got these kind of bat demons working for her now, and they attack. Stoker starts kicking some ass, and then Lady Paddington, Miss Paddington, Puddington, she leaps out, joins the fray. Just Stoker rips this guy's face off, his little bat mask, and the skin comes with it. So then the little thing that was on his face is basically its own little bat. So I don't know if it was controlling these, bodies like a meat puppet, because then it bites Stoker. Meanwhile, Miss Puddington sees the corpse of the cat. Well, basically it's just the head and a lot of gore. This bat creature kind of metamorphosizes into this giant, like, pre-code Atlas looking monster. I think that's what's happening. I think that's that bat creature. So now Stoker takes a little capsule out, puts some water on it, and basically it's an automatic Frankenstein, his buddy. And he, grows really quick, and then he attacks this new creature with his gun. Meanwhile, just so many of these panels are almost like non sequiturs. Like Lady Di is just eating chicken tacos. Just even though she's supposed to be like, she's trying to attack these people, she's just like not really paying attention. So it looks like Gary's about to get his neck chomped by one of these bat men, but then Stoker blows them away with a shotgun. Oh, I'm sorry, Frankenstein does. And I think he has a name, but I can't remember. I don't see it anywhere. But he's basically Stoker's sidekick. This Miss Puddington is so incongruous with this comic. Even the way it's drawn, it's like another artist just came in and keeps drawing her in the comic. So now we see that little kitten. It looks like Miss Puddington has already buried this cute kitten and given them a little a gravestone or a little cross. So now Lady Di says, Miss Puddington, time to get to work. Attack these motherfuckers. So Lady Di puts this amazing Kirby-like helmet on. And she says, get me the North Pole. It's some kind of communicative device. Now we have this little interlude, Are You My Father? And this is just so odd. It's like this total tribute to an old Dan Clowes comic, it looks like. Or then again, maybe it's a Duplex Planet comic. And this is just very odd. All these weird looking characters, all amazingly designed. These are just great characters. Here's Johnny. Keep looking, watch the skies, look everywhere. I know who I am. I think that's an Angel Heart reference. Just people saying random things. So Are You My Father? And then the very last one is the only one who's like just a normal guy. And he says, a girl's best friend is her father. I don't understand at all. But it's fucking great entertainment. So now we have chapter 4, Lady Di, This Was Your Life. So now we find out this is like the origin story of Lady Di. We see her at age 10. It looks like she lives with her granny, who's just a cruel, psychotic, guardian. It looks like I think it's her sister has been sent away on a bus. Granny says Maggie's gone, best to forget her. And it sounds like she beats her all the time. And she's like a weird Christian. She's like, I'm going to beat the fear of the Lord into you, so help me God. All the kids in town pick on her because she's kind of a weirdo. She has to wear a potato sack because she's poor. Now we see her at age 12. It looks like she's pretty tough, and now she's beating the shit out of these bullies. All we see is her bloody fist. When she gets home, we see this granny. I love this design. She's almost like Norma Desmond from Sunset Boulevard, but much scarier. And she's beating young Lady Di here, I guess, for getting into fights. She's just like, I can see the devil in you, child. And then we realize that Granny is actually a Medusa. All these snakes coming out of her head. She says, I'm taking you to Father Hymn, Hymn. I'm taking you for a right proper healing. Now we go to this weird little church, and here's Father Hymn. Just looks like a total degenerate. Now this is a crazy, like, Pentecostal type church, snake handling, speaking in tongues. I like how he indicates the speaking in tongues is just a bunch of X's. Because, I mean, how could you transcribe that shit anyway? Here's Lady Di. I love how Father Hymn is just wailing away on his electric guitar doing Christian rock. All the young women in the crowd are going crazy as if it was a Beatles concert. And now we see Granny. She's getting bit by the snake. I think they're drinking snake poison here to inoculate themselves. I'm not sure. So she kind of becomes a kook herself. She becomes a religious fanatic, running around, speaking in tongues. Everyone in town's like, here comes Mad Maddie. I guess that was her real name, Maddie. And now we see Granny and Father Hymn talking about her. And they're basically like, she's really got the fire in her. She's going to be a good preacher. They also talk about, it's almost like it's a kind of a Mormon faith. They talk about Moroni. There is some Mormon nomenclature used regarding this religion. But who knows? It doesn't really matter. I love this flashback sequence with this, big head drawings, kind of more cartoony. But then certain characters are just typical Shaky Kane characters. Here's another pull-out poster by Daria Tesler. This is the Smog Monster. Another really groovy looking. Let me make sure this is in frame here. I'm going to have to show you 50% of the time. So, actually, I think, since it's just photo collage in the background, who cares about that part? How crazy this is. It's really fucking groovy. Maybe I will rip this out and put it on my wall. I would love to look at this every day. I gotta get more stuff by Daria Tesler. I don't have anything by her. So now, she's getting older. We're back at the church. I don't know if this is a Jodorowsky reference to Holy Mountain, but she's got this gun that's like a crucifix. Great design there. And then we see that, so Granny and Father Him are just lovers, even though they're supposedly these total Christians. And then we see that, I guess over time, Mad Maddie becomes his lover. So she's 18 now. And she's just batshit crazy. And he tells her, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't mention this. See how he's becoming more reptilian? He's, I guess from getting bit by snakes so much, he's turning into a snake man. He basically tells her that the president is coming to see her. He heard about what a great preacher you are. And I think he's going to take you to Kolob City and put you on the TV set. God, I love this panel. I don't know what the hell it has to do with the comic. I don't know if that's the Angel Maroney blowing the, the holy trumpet. I don't know, but it's such a great panel. And so now she leaves on a bus, and we see Granny and Father Him, who is now a full-on snake, waving goodbye to her. And it just says, best to forget her. Now we have two more video tonfas from Tim Goodyear, Planet of the Vampires, Werewolf of Washington. I've got to see this movie. It's got Dean Stockwell in it. So it's a political satire with a werewolf. Oh, it sounds so good. We have another Chris Cajero Cilla one-pager, Earth versus the Flying Saucers. Very little to do with the original movie. And this is another head-scratcher. He has been subjected to a machine we call an infinitely indexed memory bank. We have transferred all knowledge from his brain to our machine. Thus, we have available and readily accessible his total experience. Humanoid and ancient. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it's beautifully drawn. And it's interesting. I'm trying to figure out what it's about. That could take me weeks. So now we have chapter 5, 12 stab wounds and still counting. And so this big Donnie Burke has been continuing. Gary's still around. He looks pretty beat up. We see Miss Puddington just ripping the neck out of the Frankenstein guy. God, I love this helmet. So now Stoker, it seems where he got bit by that little vampire bat, his arm is mutating. It's growing and getting lumpy. Now Miss Puddington is attacking Gary. There's so much, I wish I could read more of this dialogue to you, because I don't want this to take 2 hours, but here's just the caption here. Can you guys hear that? This hold music is fabulous. It sounds like the speed freak junkie love child of John Carpenter and the Carpenters playing a Providence, Rhode Island yard sale. Just all these references smushed together. So she's still trying to reach the North Pole. And then she says, great news, guys. Secret Santa's going to be here any minute. This is going to be super fun. And all of a sudden, she has a big Santa beard. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that Miss Puddington has bitten off Gary's hand. And she's got this, there's the linearity of the story is just out the window. Jesus is doing, I think, whatever the hell he wants. Just like, hey, that would be cool if this happened. And then that would be cool if this happened. And that's what makes it so fun. So there's going to be a gift swap. we see a little flashback to her as a little girl in that weird church. She says here, see? Because she keeps talking about hearing Santa's sleigh bells, but she's like, oh, maybe it's just an alcoholic withdrawal, an auditory hallucination due to that. See, I only think I'm hearing sleigh bells, but what I'm really hearing is blood shitting from Gary's stump and that two-fisted fuck beast with the party-sized arm screaming like a preacher's guitar. I did want to point out, Jason, when he came out with this, he said, Greg, I took an idea from you. That was my very first fanzine, Two-Fisted Fuck Beast, that I made back in the mid-'80s. And I guess he liked the title. So I was like very happy to see my creation is contributing a very, very tiny bit to this great comic. So now we just have lots of little panels of like, I'm not sure what's going on. I think that is Moroni, the Angel Moroni of this trumpet, because it talks about Moroni's trumpet. I'm not going to even try to synopsize this. Suffice to say, I love these little panels. Everyone is just like, these could be amazing trading cards. I'd collect them. Just bizarro, beautiful imagery. And now Secret Santa is here. What a horrific vision. He's got swords plunging into his eyeballs. This 2-page spread is amazing. This should be a poster as well. This is insanity. Fucking nuts. So now we have, this is Darren Schuler, another artist I'm unfamiliar with. Sorry guys, I forgot. I just want to get the title of this. Maybe it'll give us a clue to what it's about. It's called Witchworm. And as you can see, it's drawn in this very simple, kind of cute style. And here's the witchworm. So she's like a Satan worshiper. She's into drinking blood. She says, this is a pentagram. And then this giant bird swoops down and eats her. Because she's a worm. But then, I guess because she made this pentagram, the bird starts transforming and mutating and turns into a frog. And then the frog, it looks like it's almost turning itself inside out. It's been poisoned by this sorcery. And the witchworm crawls out safely. And the frog, it looks like the frog just dissolves. And she says, Hail Satan. Kind of cute. Here's one of those old drawings. This is by Hans Bach. I think he was a contemporary of Virgil Finlay, but maybe he was later. Obviously has a very pointillistic style like Virgil Finlay. The weird thing about this is when I was like a teenager, someone gave me this horror small press magazine. I think I still have it somewhere. And this was the cover. It was very odd that when I flipped to this page, I was just like hit. Because, you know, back then I didn't have many fanzines. I'd reread them over and over. So those images burned into my brain. So it was very interesting that he happened to choose this piece of art. And look at this great back cover by Sammy Harcum. God, what an interesting drawing all around. I love drawings like this where you're like, what's the story behind this? Why does this ghoul have pasta on his head? And why is he attacking this woman? It's just really begs the story. We need a story behind that cover. Now we have number 3. And this is going to conclude Jason T. Miles and Shaky Kane's story. I don't know if Monster Fan Club is going to continue after this. I hope it does. Because these are just so good. So this is really interesting. This, I guess it's like Obviously, I think using a computer, I imagine. I could be wrong, though. This is Jane Kane. I did mention, once again, Shaky Kane cover. I don't know if it's if she's related to Shaky Kane, but I kind of like these. These are pretty fucking cool looking. They could be AI, I don't know. But whoever directed the AI is really good at it. I'm sure if this person sees this video, they'll be like, that's not fucking AI. Don't besmirch my good name. Yeah, it's probably just really good computer collage. I don't know who drew this here. It doesn't say. But here's the contents page. And now we start off with Jesse McManus again. And this is almost like just a pure abstract comic. It's called Ing, I-N-G. And I don't know why I found this so pleasing, even though it's almost like a Rorschach test. Each one is a one-page strip, ready for bed, the hanging garden, and you can kind of see images coalesce here and there, but for the most part, it's just very, I think, beautiful abstract shapes. And there is some kind of sequentiality to it. I think just by putting these in panels, it makes me like it more because I like comics so much. So maybe I'm just imagining a sequentiality going on here. I imagine if I stared at these for like an hour, the things would come to me. I'd be like, oh wait, that's a woodpecker there, I see. But at this point, I don't know. It just looks like lots of abstraction. Though there is some concrete imagery going on. This is called Dog Page. We see this dog, but then it just gets weird, and it looks like beautiful Japanese calligraphy to me. The way that stuff is so pleasing to the eye. Whatever this is, whatever you want to call this, it's just really, I like looking at them a lot. That's all I guess that's all I can say. Here's Dog Drop Soup. God, love this shit. I'm sure a lot of people are watching this and like, that's just scribbles. What are you talking about? It's like somebody spilled an ink blotter or an ink jar. Obviously, it's not that. It's not just a mess. It's obviously there's thought behind it. This is Willkommen to Bat Valley. And I guess we can kind of see these weird bat shapes, but maybe not. Maybe I'm imagining it. It's the power of suggestion. Here's some little creature, I guess. This one's called Boggy Paddlin'. Shake It Off. Stretch Panic. Launch Down Time. Spelled like the spice, time. And this one is just the letter N with little quotes around it. Oh, here's one more. Or I guess this is a continuation. Next, we have another old artist here. This is a detail. I'm pretty sure this is a detail of a James Ensor illustration. It's really interesting because, God, in my 20s, my brother took me to the Getty Museum in LA, a pretty fancy, rich museum. And I remember, I don't know much about art, but I remember seeing this guy, James Ensor, and he had a painting that was really detailed. And I was like, I think he's from the late 1800s. And I remember thinking to myself, I even wrote it down in my journal because I didn't want to forget who this guy was. It's like, this looks like underground comics to me. This is really like comic book like. It just struck me that way. So I find it really interesting that I guess Jason Miles, as the editor, thinks the same way. Oh, I forgot to tell you the name of this piece. It's actually very apropos to this anthology. It's called Demons Teasing Me. Excuse me, guys. I need some water. Sorry, this video is taking so long, but there's so much to look at here. So now we're back to the story here, and it's just all hell's breaking loose. I'm not quite sure what hell and how it's breaking loose, but it's really fun. We see Lady Di's helicarrier crash into a building. Secret Santa takes the swords out of his eyeballs. And for some reason he yells, "I hate Thanksgiving." He chops off Gary's head. Then from the holes in his eyeballs, bloody Christmas elves fly out. But they really just look like these weird little bat creatures. He's basically been cooped up in his Christmas headquarters in the North Pole. And so now he's just going to go crazy. So now, Lady Di, even though her helicarrier has crashed in this building, I guess it hasn't blown up or anything. So she enters into it. And she takes Gary's head. I love this little nod to Ditko here. Very Ditko dimension. I think this is like some dimensional portal. Like Doctor Who's TARDIS. She has a little, place inside here. And we see all these other heads that she has collected. So here's Secret Santa with his little Christmas elf bat demons. They're attacking Miss Puddington. Oh God, look at this panel of Miss Puddington attacking Secret Santa's eyeballs. And then this made me so sad. Secret Santa runs Miss Paddington right through with the sword. We see Stoker kicking the shit out of these guys. He burns one of them with his dragon breath, incinerates him, but then his arm he was holding it in his arm, so he burns off his own arm. But this is the arm that was, mutating. To be honest, I have no idea who this guy is, but this guy has been having these giant pustules popping off of his back or exploding for the past 2 issues. I don't remember him, how he appeared. Now, Lady Di sees Miss Puddington, and she breaks down crying. She says, "I remember everything." Oh, Miss Puddington. Okay, that's the end of that chapter. So now we have Bobby Madness. I'm doing just a nice little autobio comic way back in a day. And it's just him reminiscing about being a kid and loving going to the drugstore back, in the 70s when they used to sell comics and cool magazines. And he's just talking about his love of, famous monsters, Werewolf by Night comic books. He had one of those glow-in-the-dark Wolfman models. Ed Roth car models. Very typical, 70s kid. We also have the center spread, another pull-out poster with more stuff by Jane Kane. Very interesting, these things. They're very, when you look at them, you're almost just like, what am I looking at? How was this done? Cult of the Beautiful here. And here's one more. Very creepy. Now we continue with Bobby Madness's comic. I kind of love this kind of reminiscence. I love him drawing Tomb of Dracula and his Man-Thing. Looks like Man-Thing has giant bosoms. But basically, he seemed like he was a very unpopular kid. He was kind of a loser because he was poor. Everyone made fun of him, but his solace was reading these monster magazines and comics. And then the last panel here is just was kind of a non sequitur. Just says, "The choice is clear: Bobby Madness for president." Very odd way to end the comic. Now we have Chapter 6, Monster Pogrom. So Secret Santa yanks out one of his eyes, throws it, hits Lady Di in the head. Once again, I'm just looking at the art and I don't know if I can synopsize this stuff. You can kind of see what's going on, but I still don't understand why these things are going on. Secret Santa, his eye pops back. Now we see the casino. It says Merry fucking Christmas. It is a fucking just chaos going on. I like how they keep cutting back to this jolly classic view of Santa Claus. So, one of the middlemen, one of Lady Di's, flunkies, throws some hoodoo donuts into Secret Santa's mouth, and just like before, he has an adverse reaction to them. And his vomit turns into these like reindeer, puke deer, and now these seem to join in on the havoc. They're rampaging through the casino. This comic's insane. Now we see Stoker. It looks like he's flying away with the little Secret Santa's elves, demon elves. His arm is still blown off. It's dripping this green fluid. And from the green fluid here, it seems like flowers are growing. So now we see little snapshots of what's going on. The Frankenstein guy pulls the sword out of Miss Puddington, chops off his hand, and I think somehow resurrects Miss Puddington. Puddington, floats into the air over this blood moon, and then is transformed into, she has many names, but for one of them is Aurora. The creature once known as Puddington is no more. I am Linda Lee. But she has all these other names. The Carcass Blaster. This is like something from a Saturday morning cartoon, a very weird one. But she says, I come to you radiant from incredible pain with frightful tidings of immense love and joy and transformation. Now we see Stoker still hanging out with those little Santa's demons. They all fall from the sky into this structure. And it looks like Stoker lands in this pile of flowers, and all these butterflies rise up to the sky. Back at the casino, everything's fucking crazy. This is nuts, it's Jason. And it's weird now the captions are becoming almost like spiritual and almost elegiac. They're just, the whole zany atmosphere all of a sudden takes this mood shift. Right before transformation, metamorphosis, the sleeping child ceases all function, might as well be dead. And then, wow, kaleidoscopic unfolding of wings, the clicking twitches of limbs and antenna, the humming purr of your heartbeat. Take flight. And now we see this. So this is the guy earlier I think this is the guy whose zits were popping. He transformed into this Kirby-looking vampire, Dracula. And it's almost like all these guys now are some kind of super team. Or just, maybe it's just a cool thing for Shaky Kane to draw. But that's why it almost looks like, oh, are there going to be adventures of these guys now? So we see that vampire guy with the X in his forehead grab Secret Santa and rip his head right off. Also, the other people are all attacking. So now Lady Di seems to be teamed up with Frankenstein. And they celebrate the killing of Secret Santa. The holiday season is over. The puke reindeer are still there. And they've settled down. So now here, the captions really it's almost just like the author is coming out and just talking to us. It's like, forget about this whole story. And it just becomes actually pretty beautiful poetry. Everything gets complicated, overgrown, so frustrated and disappointed I want to retreat. See, it's first person. Hide out where it's safe and play with my toys or fall into a book or some movie, someone else's story made safe by distance and time. The end, never ending. God, what a beautiful 2-page spread. And all of a sudden, it's just like, this is just genuinely just pretty. You know what I mean? Shaky Kane, I love Shaky Kane's art, but it's not like pretty. It's all nasty, weird shit and gore and monsters and crazy characters. This is just kind of a beautiful, serene drawing. And now we have, this is kind of like a coda, how to make a monster. And now he's really just talking about spirituality, completely in the first, it's pretty much the first person. And it's almost like he's taken over the narrative using the captions, even though he's still showing us, Shaky Kane is still drawing what's kind of like what happened to these characters. It looks like Lady Di is a band now. There's Freddy Krueger making the devil horns. My favorite writer talks up faith big. He talks up resting transparently, and he's super into Corinthians. One body, many parts. I wonder if he's talking about Philip K. Dick. And I sure do like to hear him talk about it. It makes me feel connected. It makes me feel a part of and not apart from. It nullifies the bogus lie of separateness, that we are separate from one another. Here's another beautiful Ditko dimension thing here. God, what a great panel. God, this is a fun 2-page spread. All these crazy characters. A kaleidoscope of butterflies fluttering a swarm, blurring, transforming into one unified mass. Yet here we are. Oh man, I hope there's more stories about these characters. So that's the end. And that completes the whole story. I'm pretty sure I heard that. Now we have some more of these Jane Kane crazy collages. I like this one. It's Nancy Reagan and Ronald Reagan. There's something really weird about these. Like, I don't know. And back cover by Shaky Kane. So there you go, guys. Monster Fan Club number 1 through 3. These I didn't mention. These were published by Floating World Press. So you can go to their website and order these. I'm pretty sure they still have them in stock. So highly recommended. This is just, you're not going to read a comic anything like this ever. Well, maybe one day. But it is just unlike anything I've ever read. It's super fun. And yet also very thought-provoking and bizarre. It definitely warrants a reread on my part, since I see a lot of it seems to be going over my head. But it goes over my head in a very entertaining way. So, I didn't even mention this first cover here. They actually sprung for some, what do you call that? Kind of like the shiny... God, my vocabulary is just dying on me every day. I can't remember what you call that. Embossed? I don't know. So, hope you guys like looking at this with me. I sure did. This was fun as hell going through these again. So, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time here at the Herculespetix Academy of Comic Book Studies.